Have you ever felt like nothing brings you joy anymore? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the music you loved, the food you craved, and even the company of friends feels flat. What if everything you once cherished suddenly lost its spark? Let's explore why this happens and how we can reignite that joy. It is a profound fatigue, a spiritual ache, a sensation that the well of living has run dry, leaving only dust at the bottom. We were born, all of us, with an essential, vibrant capacity for pure joy. A child does not need to achieve happiness. They are a vessel overflowing with it, responding to the simple miracle of light, the texture of a leaf, the sound of a voice. The child's mind is like a clear, unrippled pond, mirroring the sky perfectly. But then, as we grow, we begin to build. We build houses of expectation, fortresses of success, walls of image, and we mistake these constructions for our actual self. We start to carry the world like a heavy sack of stones on our backs, and we call this adulthood. You chase the echo of a feeling you once had. You remember the exhilaration of the first promotion, the first kiss, the first time you held a trophy high above your head. And so, you chase the next promotion, the next indulgence, the next validation, hoping to catch that echo and make it sing again. But the echo is not the source. It is merely a ghost on the wind. This is the great deception, the confusion between pleasure and joy. Pleasure is a transaction. It is temporary, tethered to an object or an event. You buy the new car, pleasure flares, and then it is consumed, leaving you immediately looking for the next thing to buy, to do, to possess. Pleasure is a thirst that is never quenched because it feeds on novelty. Joy, however, is not a transaction. It is a state of being, a wellspring within you. Joy is the essential nature of the water, not the temporary shape of the cup that holds it. What has happened? We have become excellent actors in a play where we are never allowed to be truly ourselves. We have put on the mask of the successful man, the perfect woman, the tireless provider, the intellectual giant. And the moment the mask is on, we spend all our energy trying to prevent it from cracking, from slipping. This perpetual tension, this effort to maintain the illusion of a perfect self, siphons off the very energy that would otherwise fuel our joy. Think of the river. The river flows. It does not pause to admire its reflection or worry about where it is going. It simply is the movement. It carves the stone not by force, but by persistence and surrender. We, however, have frozen ourselves, demanding that our lives be like a grand static monument. We say, I will be happy when, and in that pause, in that condition, we cease to flow, we stop being the river and become a reservoir, stagnant and heavy, waiting for an external event to pull the sluice gate. The moment you attach your joy to an external anchor, a relationship, a bank account, a level of fame, you have given the world power over your essential self. The world is turbulent. It shifts like sand. When the anchor drags, when the relationship changes, when the money fluctuates, your interior state collapses because you have built your emotional house on the shifting foundation of the outside. The world then becomes not a place of wonder, but a constant threat to your brittle, conditioned happiness. This quest for security, for certainty, is the enemy of genuine living. Life is change. Life is flux. When you try to hold a handful of sand tight in your fist, you lose every grain. But if you open your palm and let the sand simply rest, you hold it all. Similarly, when you try to grasp and solidify your joy, you lose it when you loosen your grip, when you become like the pliable bamboo in the wind, bending but not breaking. Then the inner harmony returns, and joy is revealed to have been there all along, underneath the layers of fear and striving. We must speak of the mind, this wild horse we all ride. We mistake its noise for wisdom. The mind is a machine built for comparison and judgment. It is always running a dual entry ledger, what I have versus what they have. What I have done versus what I should have done. It is never here, now. It is always dragging you either into the museum of regret, the past, or the crystal ball of anxiety, the future. Joy, however, has only one address this moment. When you are truly present, when your hands are washing a dish, and they are only washing the dish, when you are breathing, and you are only breathing, the mind has no space to construct the elaborate, joy-killing narratives of comparison and inadequacy. You become whole, and in that wholeness, there is a fundamental rightness, an unearned satisfaction that requires no trophy or applause. It is the simple dignity of existence. And so, my friend, when you ask why nothing brings you joy anymore, you must first ask, have I forgotten the original nature of the self? Have I mistaken the noise of my ambition for the music of my soul? Have I anchored my boat in the turbulent waters of the external, forgetting that the true harbor lies within? The work is not in finding joy. It is in undoing the bindings that keep joy from expressing itself. The greatest punch is the one that is delivered without thought, without malice, without effort. It is simply the natural, inevitable expression of the whole body moving as one. Similarly, the greatest life is the one lived without the friction of constant, self-conscious effort. Stop trying to be happy, start being present, the rest will follow as naturally as the tide. The moment you stop resisting what is, you find an immense, unexpected power. You may think I speak of surrender as weakness, but I tell you, it is the highest form of strength. To stand in the center of a storm, not fighting the rain, not railing against the wind, but simply standing, accepting the wild energy, becoming a part of the moment that is the true martial art of living. This is the difference between a fighter who is tense, whose muscles are like knotted ropes, and the master whose body is fluid, whose power springs from relaxation. The tense fighter is consumed by his own effort. The master is simply an instrument through which the universe expresses a beautiful, terrible force. You have become a tense fighter in your own life. You are fighting the fact that you are aging, fighting the circumstance of your current job, fighting the quiet voice that reminds you of your deeper longing. And because you are fighting reality, reality will always, always win. It is the immovable mountain against your fragile ego. This constant internal battle is what drains the well of your joy. The exhaustion is not from the world, it is from the war you are waging with your own experience. We must remember the principle of emptiness. Wu Wei. not emptiness as nothingness, but emptiness as potential. A cup is useful only because of its emptiness. A room is useful only because of the empty space that allows for movement and inhabitation. Your mind, too, must have this emptiness, this quiet, unburdened space for joy to enter. But we constantly fill the cup of our consciousness with the noise of striving. What's next? How can I optimize this? Did I measure up? We have become terrified of silence because in silence, the truth of our magnificent, unadorned self might finally be heard. And that self often looks radically different from the image we have painstakingly created for the world. The path back to joy is therefore a path of subtraction, not addition. You do not need to add a new habit, a new possession, or a new person to your life. You need to subtract the unnecessary. Subtract the need to impress. Subtract the fear of being inadequate. Subtract the attachment to outcomes. When you shed the heavy cloak of identity that you have been wearing, you realize that the fundamental self, the spirit within, was never unhappy. It was merely obscured, suffocated by the heavy layers of external demand. Consider the water again. Water can crash and destroy, like a tidal wave, but water can also simply flow and nourish, like a quiet stream. It is only when the water resists its container, when it is constrained beyond its nature, that its internal pressure builds to a destructive force. When you resist the simple, unassuming container of your life, when you demand to be bigger, brighter, more celebrated than you are building that destructive internal pressure. The work, then, is to become like the stream, fully engaged, yet completely detached, engaged in the moment with the conversation, with the work of your hands, with the feeling of the sun on your skin, but detached from the result. Do not cling to the fruit of your labor. Do the thing fully, passionately, right here, right now, and then let it go. The joy is not in the harvest. The joy is in the act of planting. I remember the feeling of the heavy bag, the leather against my knuckles. The goal was not the knockout. The goal was the perfection of the form, the elegance of the body, moving with economy and power, the focus in the eyes, the breath synchronizing with the strike. If you focus only on the knockout, you become frantic, clumsy, and predictable. If you focus only on the form, on the now of the movement, the knockout becomes a natural side effect. Your life is the same. Stop focusing on the knockout, the massive payoff, the ultimate achievement. Focus on the exquisite detail of the now, the way the light falls on the floor, the sincerity of your friend's laughter, the simple, rhythmic miracle of your own breathing. This is where the richness lies. This is where the joy is hidden. It is not an exotic treasure to be hunted in a faraway land. It is a common stone at your feet, waiting to be turned over and seen for the diamond it has always been. The tragedy is that we are so busy building the monument to our future selves that we are deaf and blind to the profound, quiet beauty unfolding right here in the present, which is the only place life actually happens. The moment you stop chasing happiness, you turn and find it standing quietly beside you, waiting for you to simply acknowledge its presence. It always has been. It always will be. The gate is open, but you are too busy running past it. The master swordsman does not think about blocking the blow. The action is immediate, a flash of pure instinctual response. If he pauses even for a moment to consider, should I block high or low? How will I look doing this? He is already dead. The pause is the vulnerability. The mind's intervention is the fatal error. This is the lesson for the search for joy. The analysis kills the spontaneity. Joy is pure spontaneity. It is an immediate, unmediated response to the truth of life. You cannot plan it. You cannot schedule it. You cannot earn it with good behavior. The intellectual mind, which is so good at engineering a career, a meal, or a machine, is fundamentally incapable of engineering joy. It can only engineer the conditions for pleasure, and as we have established, the temporary flash of pleasure leaves a longer shadow of dissatisfaction. So, how do we dismantle the analyzing, judging mind that prevents the spontaneous welling up of joy through action without attachment to the actor? I am not talking about becoming a machine, but about dissolving the rigid, self-conscious I that needs credit, that needs recognition, that needs to feel superior to its circumstances. Look at the waves. One wave rises, crests, and breaks, becoming foam and returning to the sea. Does the wave mourn its passing? Does it envy the wave next to it that rose higher? No. It simply is the expression of the ocean in that moment. It does its waveness completely and then yields. We, however, cling to the moment of the crest. We want to freeze the feeling of being on top, of being lauded, of being successful. And when the natural, inevitable breaking occurs, the loss, the failure, the quiet return to the commonplace, we feel a fundamental betrayal, a profound sadness, because we mistook the temporary wave for the eternal sea. You are not the wave. You are the ocean. The joy you seek is the vast, eternal, limitless nature of the ocean itself. The sorrow, the anxiety, the fleeting pleasure, these are merely the temporary forms the water takes on its surface. When you identify with the surface, you are constantly in turmoil. When you realize you are the depth, you find a profound, quiet peace that the surface waves can never disturb. This awareness is not passive. It is the most revolutionary form of engagement possible. It means you can engage in the world fully fighting the fight, building the building, loving the partner, but you do it without the ego's terrible, demanding thirst for a specific controlled outcome. You are simply allowing the Tao, the way, to express itself through your hands and your voice. This brings us to the most difficult practice, sitting with the void. When you turn off the television, put down the phone, and just sit, what happens? The mind screams. It throws up distractions, a bill you forgot, a slight from 2 weeks ago, a fantasy of future glory. It will do anything to avoid the silence. Why? Because the void is the space where the manufactured self begins to disintegrate. And that is terrifying to the ego. But I tell you, this is the very portal to the return of joy. When you train yourself to simply observe the thoughts without judgment, without following them down their rabbit holes, they begin to lose their power. You see the thought. You label it, anxiety, or comparison, and you let it pass like a cloud across the sky. You are not the thought. You are the space in which the thought appears. By creating this empty, clear space within, You create the necessary condition for joy to express itself. Joy is not a loud visitor. It is a quiet resident. It is the simple, powerful sense of being alive and interconnected with the vast, brilliant mystery of the universe. It is the understanding that you are not a separate, fragile entity that must constantly struggle to survive, but an integral, inseparable part of the flowing, endless life force. The old masters taught that to understand the world, one must first understand the self. And what is the self? It is not your name, your job, or your accumulated stories. It is the unconditioned awareness, the pure, vibrant energy that animates your body. When you touch this energy, when you let go of the external scaffolding, the joy returns. It is not a sudden, explosive happiness, but a deep, resonant hum, a profound sense of rightness that underlies every moment, whether you are winning or losing, succeeding or failing. The greatest performance of your life is simply being yourself, without apology, without condition. Let the water be water. Let the fire be fire. Let the man be man. Shed the armor. Stop carrying the stones. Flow. The joy you miss is waiting for you, not in a future accomplishment, but in the radical acceptance of this very moment, this very breath, as the most magnificent miracle you will ever know. Open your palm. Look at the diamond you have been trying to squeeze. The diamond is not polished by the sun's praise, but by the relentless, quiet friction of the stonecutter's wheel. Similarly, the joy of the unconditioned self is revealed not in moments of grand triumph, but in the steady, unglamorous persistence of simply showing up to your own life, moment by moment. The world looks for the spectacular. The soul finds sustenance in the mundane, transformed by presence. This is where the practice becomes a life, and the life becomes an art. You no longer need to seek out extraordinary events to feel extraordinary. The taste of your morning tea, the warmth of a blanket, the sound of rain on the window pane, these small, ordinary moments, when approached with a complete, focused presence, become gateways to the essential, unearned joy. When the mind is quiet, the ordinary world shines with a profound, almost unbearable intensity. The color of a simple orange becomes a miracle of light and pigment. The grain in a piece of wood reveals an ancient, complex history. You become a poet simply by seeing things as they truly are, not as you have been conditioned to label and dismiss them. The sadness, the lethargy, the feeling that nothing brings you joy anymore is often the soul's cry for simplicity and sincerity. We have overcomplicated our existence with layers of manufactured wants and fears. We crave complexity, believing that a complex life must be a deeper, more meaningful one. But the deepest truths are always simple. Water seeks its own level. The sun rises and sets. Life flows into death and back into life. We must learn to trust the universe, to trust life, even when it presents a sharp edge. The greatest master does not try to avoid the pain of the punch. He learns to receive it, to ride its energy, and to use its force to inform his own movement. He is not afraid of the impact, because he knows his essence is not fragile and cannot be broken by a mere physical event. our fear of pain, our obsessive avoidance of discomfort, is another huge anchor holding back the flow of joy. Joy and sorrow are not opposites. They are two sides of the same coin of deep, authentic living. To feel one fully is to make space for the other. When you close yourself off to sorrow, you inadvertently seal off the wellspring of joy as well. You become emotionally numb, safe but lifeless, like a statue carved in stone. The final piece of this meditation, my friends, is about usefulness and connection. We are social beings. The wave, in its most beautiful expression, is always connected to the whole ocean. When we isolate ourselves within the fortress of our personal ambition, we sever the essential ties that give life its deepest meaning. The moment of highest joy is often not a solitary moment, but one of sincere connection, when you are laughing with a friend, when you are creating something of genuine beauty for another, when you are simply holding a hand in shared silence. You do not exist in a vacuum. The life force that animates you is the same life force that moves the stars and grows the trees. When you realize that your purpose is not to be a monument to yourself, but a conduit for the vast, creative energy of the universe, the burden lifts. The pressure to achieve personal happiness dissolves, replaced by the profound satisfaction of being useful. When you forget yourself in the service of an idea greater than your own ego, whether it is a piece of art, a philosophy, a family, or a community, you find that joy, like a shy, loving child, has slipped its hand into yours. Therefore, your meditation must be continuous. It is not something you do for 10 minutes on a cushion. It is the way you pour your tea, the way you listen to a difficult person, the way you tie your shoes. It is the constant, conscious return to the simple, present, unconditioned self. Be like the water, flow, be flexible, be utterly present, be useful. Do not seek the joy, be the joy. Let the mask fall, let the current take you, let the ocean know its power. The cup is empty. Now, it can be filled